Okay, so tell me about plants. Tell me about your journey with eating plant-based. What has this done for you? How did you stumble upon this? Like, I want to hear everything.
Okay, I'll try and make it make sense because it's been it's been a long time. It was a long time coming. I have friends who say that I'm the fastest slow person they know because I take my time with people and what I'm doing, but I also do a lot. So I accomplished a lot, but probably 20 years ago because of the environment, I just wanted to, switch my diet and, ask the question, what more can I do? And so I very imperfectly, and I didn't really care. I don't care about perfection. I do care about being good. I tried to be good and feed my family, and my husband, my two young sons, and myself lots of plants. But they, of course, wanted what I had been feeding them, which was how my mother taught me to cook years and years ago. So um, they were not along on the journey with me, but they did cook with me, which was nice. So then some real tragedies struck that affected my health, but they were about my family's health. And I lost my mom when my kids were young to cancer. And then my brother in law, who we were very close to a stroke from untreated high blood pressure. And then my sister to cancer. They she was able to live through their kids growing up, but when her youngest was in high school, he lost his mom, and I was kind of living with her and really trying to be with her at the end of her life. And she gave me the job of seeing what she should be eating, and I took it very seriously. And it was actually that spring, um, as her life was ending and we were saying goodbye in all those hard ways, that I first started reading I think your blog or it was
Mhm.
2015.
Yeah, so
Were you
that would have
writing
been,
then?
yeah, I started writing 2014. So it probably would have been the
Exactly.
newsletter or the blog. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
you were actually a great comfort to me in a very hard time, and the Facebook page. And I could think about the food at a time when my heart was broken and I needed something
Mhm.
else to do. And it was really it was really good and soothing to begin to feed myself well, when all the little voices just want, can we please have cookies, more cookies?
Mhm.
So that's really when I learned what whole food plant based was, from you, from Dr. Greger, um, and I was astonished. Uh, Olive oil isn't good. What the heck is ume plum vinegar? And why can't I just like pour in white vinegar? Who cares? Um, and so, because I love to eat,
You and me
and
both.
I've always,
Yes.
yeah, a lot of people do,
So
and
good.
I was used to cooking as a function. That's part of my life. We cook, we give people food, we feed everybody.
Yep.
Um, I I I felt like I could step right in and start to try the recipes on the blog, and it was miles up from what I'd been doing by picking and choosing on the internet. Like, how do I do this? I was pretty disorganized in how I'd cook for myself and falling back a lot on pot of beans, brown rice, big salad.
Yep.
And in fact, for my sister, I used to say I was making beautiful salads, and I thought they were beautiful. And so did she, and we really enjoyed them. And my whole family did. But as time went on, and I started to get introduced to CFDG salads, clean food. Oh, this is funny. You know, in 2017, I first signed up for the meal plans, and it was a bit of foot dragging for me because I didn't want someone else to have control. And I thought, "Oh, they're going to tell me what to eat. I want to pick and choose the recipes. They're going to tell me what to shop for. I don't know." So, there was that voice that kept on, that we were having a little fight. but I said, "Okay." So the week before, there had been the Tex-Mex lasagna recipe.
Mhm.
Do you
Mhm.
remember that?
I do.
And, like,
Yes.
Clean Food Dirty Girl Facebook blew up. They were like, "Oh my god, do you believe the lasagna?" So I said, "That's it. I'm in." I signed up, and this is what I think is so funny. So the first meal plan, in August 2017 that I got was salads, and I'm like, "Molly,
Salad week. Salad week.
I know how to make salads." But, of course, my salads were lettuce, tomato, celery, and maybe some sprouts, cucumber.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, you just knocked my socks off. At first, I was like, "They get the Tex-Mex lasagna last week, and I get the salads? What is this?"
Right, and that's before we had opened up all the past meal plans and recipes, so it's like if you didn't sign up on that week, you kinda, like, missed out, right? So you've been through this whole evolution with us, and let me just, while we're here, that week of salads, everybody revolted. The whole Facebook group were like, "Oh," I don't know if you remember, but we got so many people really pissed off, and we had a lot of people cancel their meal plans that week. And what ended up happening was there were, the handful of steady people who were just going to be like, screw it, I'm just going to make it. And then everybody started raving about the meals. And they're like, oh my God, salad week is the best week. And a whole lot of people who had canceled then emailed in to uncancel their cancel. And so I remember that week very well because it was like everybody hated us. And then midweek, everybody was loving us. So I know exactly what week. And we still talk about it today. So thank you for bringing
No,
that
I
up.
can't believe it. I love it. Thank you
So
for
good.
telling me that. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. We have
Well,
a
I
few of
made
those like
that week.
weeks. Yeah.
I I went ahead and made it, and I was amazed. There was a grocery list, and I followed it, and it was so much better than my disorganization or whatever I'd been doing. And then the um, the batching was like it it was great. Dinner was done. I knew it was for dinner every day, every single day, and I was so happy that I wasn't at 4:30 getting home from work going, "Oh, what are we going to eat now?" It was great, and then the salads were over the top, and actually, can I show you? I have
Yes. Show me.
here it is. This is my
You have your binder.
2017. That's how I
Yes.
kept them. That's my salad week
Salad week. There it
in
is.
big
Oh, one for the
notes.
archives. So good.
And I have the notes all the way through it about what each person in my family liked. I was cooking for my elderly parents at that time who lived next door to me by then, my husband and my son in high school.
Mhm.
He was a senior that year,
Uh-huh.
and everybody was nuts. They just loved every minute. And then the next week was Kids Week,
Uh-huh. Yes.
and that was huge because there was mac and cheese and pancakes and
Yes.
so
Awesome. So I'm just gonna go to the classroom really quick and tell people the name of that meal plan if they want to go back to it. Because I know people will watch this and they'll be like, hey, what is that salad week about? And so it is called hashtag dirty salad. So if you go into our archives for all of you subscribers or go into your classroom and search dirty salad, it'll come up. And so I suggest it's a good one to go back to. I ought to go back to that one too. So
yeah, don't miss it.
yeah, love it. Okay, so you've been with us for like practically since the beginning. And what a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing all of those details and a glimpse of your life and the sweetness that you were there for your sister and for your parents. Um, I wanted to ask you this. So when you got into this way of eating, what like it's been a little while now, but what changed for you?
It was a really big deal because I'd gained a lot of weight through the grief of loss and also caregiving, just the hard work of caregiving. And and it had been a number of years. My sister was ill for many years, and there were great times and hard times. But also, I had just gone back to work at I had just started working at a brand new job um, right when she was diagnosed. And so I was like going to work, learning my new job, and then going and sleeping overnight in the hospital with her. And all of that led to me being way much more than I had in all of my life. I'm a very active outdoor person, and there wasn't active outdoor time. And I had um, teenage kids who I was on the phone with a lot saying, "Clean your room, do this," um, and then finding a better way to get along through all of it. What happened was I went to the doctor. Um, my birthday's in August, and happy birthday to you. You had one recently too.
Yep, yep, and
And
to you
I
too.
turned
Yep.
65 this August, and, but I was, as I grew older, I was having my blood glucose level, my cholesterol level, things that had never been a problem for me were shooting up. And, my doctor, who's very dear, said to me, "I'm really concerned about these." Sometime in 2016 or so, and I'd been trying to change things a little. And I'd had some blood work done right before I subscribed to the meal plans. I felt so good within weeks of eating this way. And I wasn't perfect. I mean, it's important to note with your wonderful theme of not perfection.
Mm.
There was but there were so many different plants in my life, and I was eating just just completely differently at least 50, 60% of the time to how I'd been eating. And so I went back to my doctor after 6 months and I said, "I really wanna know what's changed," because I was seeing on the Facebook page and other things, um, that people's blood work really changed. I said, "I wanna know." We were worried about my blood glucose, my triglycerides. I don't wanna have diabetes. I don't wanna have high blood pressure,
Mhm.
and I want to use my body to do all the things I love to do outside now that I have some time again. And, he did the when I went in with the results of the test, I knew they were good, and I said, "Look how much my bad cholesterol has come down. It's unbelievable. I want you to tell me that's spectacular because it is." And he said, "Beth, that is spectacular, but look at your blood glucose levels, your triglycerides, everything. It's everything that's spectacular, that it's
Mm.
all really, really good. What have you done?" And I told him, and he said, "Keep doing it. Good job."
Yes,
And
yes.
and it's continued that way.
Yeah.
I the health issue that plagues me is that I pull muscles from all the wonderful things I'm doing.
Love it, love it. Oh, you gave me chills. And I hear this story and I hear you talk and I think, this is why I do this. Like, this is why I do it. So that people like, can really live a life that, and like you said so beautifully, like you want to use your body to live your life. And that's like so spot on. Like, to have a healthy body so that we can like maneuver in the world how we want to, like what a gift. And to think that there are people out there who don't know that this is possible through food. So thank you for sharing this with me and for just like being an example of like why I started doing what I was so passionate to do, and so
Yes.
thank you.
So, and I want to tell you, you explain it so well and you motivate us so well. The way you speak and write, I can listen to you so easily. I can read you so easily. It's not like, okay, I got to go back and read that and learn a little
Yeah,
bit more, find out why I'm doing this or what vitamins are in this vegetable.
yeah,
We're not talking about that. We're talking
yeah.
about changes. And I also don't want to be like super Pollyanna because I know cancer's not picky. It could hit
Totally.
anyone.
Yeah.
High blood pressure and diabetes, they're not necessarily, I'm not saved from them just because I'm doing this. But my
Yeah.
chances with every forkful are so much better.
Yeah.
And they're better because the food, it tastes so good, Molly.
Yeah.
The wizards are
They're
just
wizards.
they're
Yeah.
wizards. I think of the fairy godmothers in Cinderella. They're like
with their little spatulas and their little tools. Right? Yes.
Yes,
Hey, I just got a good
and
idea for Halloween, actually.
oh,
Wizards. We should have them be wizards. That'd be really cute. But yes, the food, right? Because if the food doesn't taste good, you're not going to do it. Like I know that I'm not going to eat it. Like if the food, because we have to eat and we have to eat often. And so if the food doesn't taste good, it's not realistic to keep doing it.
so
That's
let
just
me tell you this
yeah.
part. This is kind of fun. I belong to a UCC church that's very active, and so they're my community. And so through them, I said, let me do a plant-based group. So for 2 years before COVID, I pulled in a vegan chef, and we led this group, and it was a small group that met regularly, but had people from the community coming in, and every Sunday night we'd make dinner. And yes, I did make many of your recipes, but I never gave them away.
Full disclosure, right?
Absolutely. I never gave them away. I told them, "You can subscribe." We fed people who needed other people to eat with because they would have had to eat at home alone.
Mhm.
We fed people who were hungry, who really were food insecure,
Yeah.
and we fed each other, and we all worked together in the kitchen. And we used everybody's recipes, and we would work them out to how we could make them whole food plant based. And that created for me this sense of what you're talking about. You do it for others, of that there's so much community in what you
Mhm.
do, and that I can have that too. That even though it can be really lonely being the only one at the table,
Mm.
or the only one when you're talking about going out tonight and everybody wants to go out to eat, and you say, I don't really want to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Could we
Yeah.
go for a run?
Yeah. Right.
Could we
Right.
go for a hike in the woods?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
going out to eat isn't that much fun for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat what I make.
Yeah. Mm.
And so anyways, this weekend we had a festival out on the green. Everyone from Ipswich was invited to come, and my group and I made a table of burrito things, and some clean food dirty girl recipes were in there that I made that included barbecued jackfruit
Nice. Yum. So great.
and almond taco. It's
Mhm.
almond kidney
Almond
bean
taco
taco
meat. Mhm.
meat,
Mhm.
and everybody else did some things, and people were coming up to the table going, um, "What do you have?" And I said, "Well, we have barbecue burritos."
Yeah.
And then they were coming back and saying, "That was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten." What was it?
Nice.
So, there's also the idea that so often you wanna speak and say, "This is what works for me, maybe it'll work for you with your high blood pressure, your struggles, or
Mhm.
whatever."
Mhm.
But usually it's showing people, it's sharing the food,
Yeah.
and I have really good food to share because of you.
Mm, well, thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. And what like bless you for doing such important work too and sharing that. And I think it's so true with this way of eating and really way of living, as you know. I mean, it does have such a ripple effect into the community and into your family, and just it spreads out so much. And so thank you for kind of showing up with good food. And that's what it is, right? It's like we don't have to fix or change people. We can just present some really yummy food, and then change will probably happen if somebody wants it, and if not, that's okay too. But it's like coming to it with that easy lightness, right? So good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And I see the question a lot on Facebook and have over the years. You know, this looks so hard.
Yeah.
There's so many foods I don't know. I don't really like to cook. And I think about that resistance I had, even though I already loved listening to you and all of the
Yeah.
Clean Food Dirty Girl Facebook group, how hard that was. And I would just thank all of those people for having those questions. They affirm me and how I felt at first,
Yeah.
and also say back, that's how you feel at the beginning.
Yeah.
That it's okay to really, push back and feel like I couldn't possibly, and who the hell knows where to get, um, ume plum vinegar. Why would I buy all these ingredients I'm gonna
Yeah.
use just once? And all of a sudden, you're throwing out spice jars like crazy because you've used them all up.
Oh, one of the best feelings, right? It's so true. We have so many people have these beautiful spice racks and they never get touched until they sign up for our meal plans. Even people who are like used to cooking, I hear that a lot. But it's so true. And I think that as people get more used to this, we can kind of forget. We no longer have that beginner's mind. And so it's easy to forget sort of where we were because we all like nobody like I'm very rare in that I grew up sort of eating this way, but I know that most people like this is something that you learn. This is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And so being, having and tapping into that beginner's mind and really like having that understanding and inclusion for people who are at that stage, I think
Yeah.
is so important because we were all there one time or another. I mean, even though I grew up eating pretty healthy, like whole food plant-based was new to me. And I didn't find out where to buy ume plum vinegar too. So it is. And then too, to keep in mind, like it's okay to have that resistance and that confusion and that sort of um dragging your feet like you said, and that's kind of part of change. And any kind of change, we're going to find the things that are like kind of sticky for us. And that's just the brain getting out of its comfort zone, and it's so natural. And that's why I insist that we all pay attention to the fact and celebrate the fact that we're human and we are like beautifully imperfect, because this is the human brain just sort of doing what it's going to do, right? And it's all part of the process. So
Yeah.
bravo
Yeah.
for you for like, being in the Facebook group and also being compassionate to those who do have those questions that you once had or those concerns that you once had.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah.
heard that a lot. People, either people love that we give them what to buy and what to make, or people hate it. Like it's either one or the other. So I've heard that too. And so whatever resistance, whoever's watching this, whatever resistance you have, or whatever kind of feelings you're having of like, oh, I'm just not sure, know that like we were all there once, and it's totally fine. And go at your own pace. That's the other thing. I mean, there is no race to win. Everybody is just right where they need to be, and it's all beautiful and good,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
really is. It really is. So the other thing that's sort of different about me is I still cook with a lot of people. My parents live next door to me. My husband's here. My sons have both moved on and live at college and away. But I cook. I have 4 caregivers for my parents, and
Uh-huh.
they all love to cook with me, and they'll go when they're on, they'll go, "Did you batch the other day, or do you still have something to do?" And they wait to come and taste some of the food, like, "What's for tonight?" And if
Mm.
I haven't gotten the batching done and they don't have that that meal to taste, they're like, "But it's on the meal plan for this week, Beth. Where is it?" And
Love, love, love.
we have a lot of fun in the kitchen. My dad eats absolutely everything. He's has a very good forgettery. His dementia is pretty severe at
Mm.
this point, but he always enjoys the food. My stepmom, my beloved stepmom, her dementia has gone the other way where her appetite has really narrowed and she would
Mhm.
live on like grocery store mini chocolate chip muffins and ice cream.
Mhm.
And so we do things a little bit differently. And it's like the kid questions. We just break things down and serve them to her in bits, recognizable pieces of things. So, oh, that's a piece of cauliflower instead of putting it together in a bowl or a wrap or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's been that a beautiful exploration of how we all eat together. But it's kind of fun that
Mm.
everybody who works with me, who's like family, is like coming and going, "Oh, let's eat. What do you have? Let's
They
cook it."
love it. That's so cool. And what a wonderful thing that you have your parents right next to you and able to be close to them at this stage in their life.
Yeah, yeah, it's a miracle. It's wonderful, and I'm so glad for the help because then I get to go out and I go swimming every morning. I swim in the ocean here in the Atlantic, where a lot of people go in and say, "Well, this is way too cold." But
Yeah.
I actually started last October to say, I'm just going to go every day. I found a friend who would go with me. And by going every day, we went through December 14th and then started again in
Oh,
March. So in fairly cold water. I swim about a half a mile. Anytime somebody can lifeguard me that long, or else I push it. When I can't get there, I found a saltwater pool that I can go in and have a friend to go there with me. And I've also found that, especially during the pandemic, that it's important to keep on finding the new friends that are sort of old friends that you
mm,
can come back together with and be outdoors with, um, and that way have a rich life. There was a part of me that just wanted to break out and travel and
mm,
get going. When I can't, I need to be very respectful of my parents' health and my
mhm,
husband's too, and my
mhm,
own, and not and be careful,
mhm,
COVID wise.
mhm,
I've found that it's really important to build on the friendships that are right here in town and find ways to renew old ones, or be with new people, but go and be outside and
mm.
take the food with us and enjoy it, and really sort of build a life that's full of adventures that includes the food, the clean
Yeah,
food, dirty girl food, because
yeah.
one of my big adventures is what's on the meal plan. What am I going to eat this week? I love the novelty. I love having something brand new to make and eat every single week.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it, and you bring up such a good point of right now, especially, and over the past, like, 2 years, right, having to kind of rethink things and rethink where we are in the world and not having that option to, like, get on a plane. I haven't been anywhere either, and I don't think it's the right thing to do, for myself, and I've just really been at home, and granted, like, I live in such a beautiful place, and for me, when there's not that option of getting on a plane, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to really explore where I live, and connect with some new people. And that's been a really big thing for me too. So thank you for bringing that up. I think it's important to just for a reminder for people, like explore your backyard and bring some dirty food while you're at it.
It makes it all the more adventure. Figuratively.
Totally. Totally. Well, I've just loved chatting with you. You are a lovely human. It's no wonder you're like in our community and we're connected in this way because you're just lovely. I've just loved chatting with you, and thank you for sharing a bit of your story and your life with us. And I guess in wrapping up, like I want to know if somebody is watching this and they were sort of, and we hit on this a little bit, but if somebody was sort of where you were at so many years ago, kind of with that same mindset of not being quite sure they wanted to try this, and not even necessarily the meal plans, but just eating plant-based in general. Like what words of advice or what encouraging words would you share with them?
Oh, what a great question. Let me think about this a little bit. It's funny because I just met a young woman today, the first time I'd ever met her, and we had talked for a minute, and she said, "I'm vegan." And she said, "But I'm kinda crappy at it because I eat, all that plantain meat and a lot of bread." And I said, "I know. I've done that too. And it all tastes good, but it doesn't make you feel that good." She says, "No, I don't feel that good when I do it." And I gave her the information about Clean Food, Dirty Girl, and she was really excited. I also asked for her help with understanding Instagram a little bit because I'm
Nice.
um and now I'm forgetting your question a little bit,
Yeah,
because
just like
I think that starting out has to be all the things that you say so beautifully. I love hashtag Team Dirty. I think
yeah,
trust Team Dirty. I think that the trust and growing into trust, that what what we're making is going to fuel us really well. We're going to
mhm,
feel good, and it's going to taste delicious. And when you don't like something, you didn't like that one. You move
yeah,
on and have the next one. I'm always amazed. Like, I think, "Oh, no, I didn't like this one at all. Did I do it wrong? Did they do it wrong? What's wrong?" And then the next meal is super.
yeah.
And I might go back the next week and eat what I didn't like so much and think, "That's pretty good." Um,
It
so
can happen, yes. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I think I think that we go through times and have reactions and first reactions and second reactions, and that it's really good to be able to share and in the group that you've created and be
Mhm.
part of the community that talks about all of this and to keep getting your encouragement and help because I might go for months and never listen to a blog and then I'll listen to one and think, wow. Or I did go to the what's the weekly office hours
Yes, yeah, that's
once
yes.
and I loved that. That
Yeah.
was good. And I've done Lighten Up,
Yes, you have. Yeah.
which I adored. It's just it's incredible and it's always there for me.
Yeah.
So
So many good tools. So many good
there's
tools.
there's so much and I don't walk around like a walking advertisement for you. I don't walk around like a walking advertisement for eating whole food plant-based
Yeah.
because I think most people don't want to hear it.
Mhm.
But sharing the
Yeah.
food works really well. And just
Yeah.
saying, you can do this too.
Yeah, and
People
clearly, like, you look very healthy. Like, there's something very captivating about you, and you seem like like, you have that radiating that, like, plant goodness, you really do, and so I
wow,
think yeah, for sure you
that's
have that. You have
good.
that
It's
thing.
not the haircut
It's
because
I mean,
I
it's
got a
it's the whole
haircut.
thing. It's the eyes and the hair and the skin, and you just, like, you radiate that, like, just that love and
Oh,
that joy, and I think that that is very captivating to people, and I think just by being you, I think people will be curious and it's like and I've talked about this before, but it's that thing where it's like, "Okay, what is she doing? Like, I want some of what she got," you know? And so I think that just by being you, you probably there's people's little curiosity goes up and like, what is she doing? And then if you offer the food, it's like you put it all together and then wham. And the thing is, yeah, I mean, my whole philosophy is like I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to share. And if it resonates, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But I'm not here to convince. I'm just here to like share good food. And so thank you for yeah, I don't know. Thank you for being open and trusting, what we had to offer. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so I'm taking it in. It's hard for me to hear that I look that good because I'm older now and it's hard to always feel like you look good. But I do have a before picture and it ain't pretty. I mean, there was a time when I was beautiful and 18, and there was a time when I was 50 and really suffering a lot
Mhm.
and was not looking or feeling good and was not able to do the things that I love. And
Mhm.
eating this way has given me back life. In fact, a friend of mine who saw me last year said, "Beth, you're aging backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible.
You're getting younger." Yeah.
Yeah, what an amazing thing. And then I had mentioned this before, but I think it's worth noting again, like being able to be in your body and use your body for your everyday life. Like, and that's what I want to do. That's what I always want to do. Like, I don't really care about having abs or having like, this, like, I want my body to work. Like, I want to be able to, be on my legs and walk down to the ocean and take a swim. Like, I want to be able to batch for 4 hours and like have my body be able to carry me through that. Like that's what I really strive for. And you are a beautiful, beautiful example of that, and I think you look very good for your age. I would never guess that you're 65.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's so
Yeah.
nice. And just one more thing on that. I just had a wonderful reunion with my friends where we've gone since we were 18 to one of my friend's summer house. And we were there. We've gone almost every year and met up there. And we had one new couple come and join us. And it's wonderful. And we're all together. What's hard is that as we get older, our dear friends are on more medications and they are more restricted in what they can do and they are on more restricted diets or whatever and I felt really like I'm looking around me and hoping that everybody will just enjoy the food I'm serving and think I can eat that way and
Yeah.
maybe sometimes people will feel better and and resolve some of the issues they're having through changing their diet. I certainly was able to, and even my dad, I started feeding him whole food plant-based meals, at least 60% of his meals when he was 89,
Mm.
and his blood pressure has stabilized and his so it's I think it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, this way of eating, it's not some like cure all. It's not some like it's not going to reverse everything or make everybody just, have no health problems. That's not it, but it is giving your body the best chance to work at its optimal level. Like, so it's giving your body the best chance. Is it going to work like this for everyone? Who knows? Probably not. But like it's worth a shot just to see what it can do. That's what I always say. Like just get curious about what it might be
Yeah.
able to do for you and just see, because really, what do you have to lose? Like, again, if you're just, eating, I don't know, broccoli and beans and whole grains, and, what's the worst that it can do, even if it doesn't, you know, um, get off, allow people to get off every single medication, like, there's no downside to doing it. So I think that having that curiosity is a really wonderful place to start.
Molly, I haven't had a cold in 4 years. Even though I read your cold what is that?
It
Essay a lot.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
I like that one, and
uh-huh.
help my sons if they get one or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really sets you up well. Oh,
It does,
also my
yeah.
sons who have gone off during this time of me learning to cook whole food plant-based and eventually eat meal plans, they call me for information about how to cook and what they're doing. And while they are omnivores, they are eating so many more
Mm,
plants, grains, everything than they would have otherwise if they hadn't been coming home and eating what I'm serving. So
yeah, and I love that they call you up
really
and
good.
ask you for advice. That's so cool.
All
Good
the
good
time, all the
boys.
time. I'm making a really cool chili here, no meat. What do I put in it to get that flavor?
So good. Yes. Yeah, the cold thing, I haven't had a cold, like, I haven't been sick since, well, I was sick in Malaysia, and I still don't know what that was that happened. I don't know if you remember reading my emails from that time, but
Yes, I
when
do.
Luann's dad was at the end stages of his life, when we were in Malaysia, I was sick and I got knocked down, and nobody knew really what it was, and still don't know. But I mean, I haven't been sick since then. And then I think it was like, yeah, 3 or 4 years since I had had a cold before that. So it's amazing. Like what,
It is.
yeah, the immune system just really, really does wonderful things with plants, or the plants does amazing things with the immune system. It's, yeah,
Yeah, the
such a
the
gift.
idea that maybe our inflammation level is completely different.
Yeah.
Maybe our biomes are completely different because we're eating this way and set up for meeting challenges. It makes me really happy.
Yes, yes, it makes me happy too, and it's made me so happy to talk to you. So thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of this community, and being, and just like subscribing to our plans and supporting the work that we do, and sharing your enthusiasm for it, in the group as well, and just the encouraging emails you've sent over the years. Thank you for all of it. I really appreciate you, Beth.
Wow, I didn't really even know you knew me that much or saw me, and I'm just so glad to see you and today and talk with you. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for this group. I love it.
Well, thank you. Very, very nice to meet you. And I hope to see you in office hours sometime soon. And I'll for sure see you in the group soon too.
Yeah, that'll be great. I love
Okay.
office hours. Okay,
Fab. Thanks, Beth.
great. Take care, Molly. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi to Luann.
I will let her know. And hi to your family.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
I'll tell them. All right. Bye-bye.